Welcome to the Parenting Breakthrough, where we support parents in creating a more connected, resilient, and joyful family life. I'm Coach Rich, your host, and today we're tackling a big topic: how to let go of what other parents and other people in general think and focus on what truly matters, your family. So whether you're feeling judged at school drop-off or in parenting groups or even by friends and relatives, this episode is all about freeing yourself from the comparison trap and embracing what's going to be your own path and how it's unique, and trying to enjoy that and shutting out what's happening anywhere outside of that. Why do we care so much about what other people think? It's normal. It's kind of ingrained in us to feel, when we're feeling judged, thinking about how other people see us, and like somehow how our kids act is a reflection on our value as a parent. And that comes from social conditioning. From a really young age, a lot of us are taught to seek approval from other people. And that can carry over into our parenting, where we feel judged about how well our children behave or if they're succeeding or not. We also often have a fear of being misunderstood, right? So parenting a kid who's a little different, it's natural to worry that others don't understand your choices or what your kid needs. And then we have this comparison trap of social media, and where everybody is sharing the highlight reel of their lives. They're not sharing all the stuff that's weighing them down or all the things they're having trouble with. You're just really seeing what's going best for them. And you have, chatter on the playground and even casual conversations that make us feel like we're falling short compared to other parents. So here's a reframe for you. Caring about other people's opinions isn't inherently bad. It's just a sign that you want to belong. But when it starts to overshadow your ability to make decisions that line up with what your family needs, it is time to refocus. There's a cost of people pleasing in parenting. It impacts you in the form of emotional burnout, because you're constantly trying to meet others' expectations, and that leaves very little room for self-care or any kind of joy. It leads to inconsistent parenting, because when you're influenced by outside opinions, it's harder to stay the course and be true to your values as a parent. And it can also lead to strained relationships, right? Pleasing others often comes at the expense of deeper connection with your kid and your family. It also impacts your child. So your kid may feel that pressure from you, even subconsciously, to conform because they're sensing your stress, and that's going to affect their confidence and their emotional well-being. So an example scenario, right? You're at a family gathering and your kid is having trouble sitting still, right? They're just fidgety. And a relative makes a comment like, oh, parents these days, right? So instead of addressing what your kid needs, you feel pressured to make them conform. And this really causes unnecessary stress for both of you. So in a scenario like this, let's shift the focus back to your family and what your family needs. Some practical steps you can take. One, clarify your values. I would spend time just reflecting on what matters most to your family. What kind of parent do you want to be? What are your long-term goals for your kid? And just write down 3 to 5 core values about your parenting. Examples might include compassion or independence or emotional regulation as big goals for your kid. And then based on those become your North Star, right? They become the thing you follow no matter what. And we need to practice some mindful responses that are going to help us stay rooted in those values. So when you feel judged, just take a deep breath and remind yourself of your values. And a calm, confident response without engaging in any kind of argument, just saying, hey, we're doing what works best for our family right now. And you can just leave it at that. I would limit exposure to triggers. If certain environments, people, or social media feeds make you feel judged, just consider stepping back. Protect your energy. It's not avoidance, it's a kind of self-care. And seek supportive communities. Surround yourself with people who understand and support what you're going through. And, if you have a neurodivergent kid, then be in groups with other people who are going through the same thing. There are great subreddits, lots of groups on Facebook. If you can find in-person groups, those are even better. Just make friends with people who get it. And that could make a huge difference in your perspective. Because other parents don't have the full picture of your life, and you don't have the full picture of theirs either. So their opinions are just that. They're opinions. They're not facts. So trust that you're the expert on your family and what your kid needs. Let's build some confidence in your parenting. How do we strengthen that confidence? Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge the progress you and your kid make, no matter how small it is. These victories are unique to you, and they don't have anything to do with anyone else. We made it through a grocery store trip without any kind of meltdown. That's a big win for us. And again, I say it over and over again, some sort of gratitude journal where you just end or start the day with one thing you're grateful for, one thing that went well. It's going to give you that 1 degree shift to help you see more of what's going well and less of what's going wrong. Develop a personal mantra. Create a phrase you can repeat to yourself when doubt creeps in, like, I'm doing what's best for my family, progress, not perfection, I'm a good parent having a tough moment, things like that. Keep coming back to them, and they will help you stay rooted in what you need to do, which is the best thing for your kid. You can educate others where it's appropriate. Sometimes explaining what your kid needs can help you build some understanding with other people. For example, my kid processes sensory input differently, so we approach things in a way that works for them. If someone asks to learn more, you can send them an article about understanding if you have a diagnosis of autism or ADHD, helping them understand just the fact that these kinds of brains process things differently. And it's not a sign that we did anything wrong as parents or that there's anything wrong with our kids. When we can understand how our kids' brains work and help other people understand how our kids' brains work, then it can become a superpower for them, because then we have a roadmap to how to help them be in the world. Last thing I want you to think about is reflecting on the big picture. Remember, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And, so just focus on what matters long term. And it's going to help you let go of these little moments of judgment that don't matter. So how do we let go of guilt and judgment? Guilt often comes from just unrealistic expectations, right? Remind yourself that no parent has it all figured out. And no matter how much you see someone's highlight reel and how great things look for them, don't compare. You've got what you've got, and you need to find a way to find joy and appreciation in that. You're doing your best with what you've got. So just say to yourself, it's okay if my parenting looks different. It's okay if my family looks different. I'm prioritizing my kids' needs, and that is enough. So you can imagine just closing your eyes, placing other people's opinions in a box and placing it on a river and watching it float away. It's a mental exercise to just help you detach, refocus on what really, really matters. So thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Parenting Breakthrough. Letting go of what other parents think is not always easy, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do and one of the most powerful steps you can take as a parent. So focus on your values, celebrate your wins, build your confidence. You're creating the kind of parenting that your kid really needs, which is the parent that's going to fit their unique way of being in the world. So if this episode resonated for you, please share it with a fellow parent who might need it. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and support. Until next time, trust yourself, trust your child, keep focusing on what matters most, your family and your values, and I'll see you next time.